Good morning, class 10 students. Hope you everyone well at your home due to this cold. Students, today we are going to discuss the chapter 12. The chapter 12's name is the tuples. Okay, as you see in this figure. Right now, first of all, you all just open your book and the things those are needed for that. Okay, listen. What is the topics those we are just covering this? First is introduction, then creating and assessing the tuples and tuple operation, and then tuple functions and methods. We are just going to understand the four topics over this in this chapters. Okay, चार चीज़ों को इसमें अध्ययन करने वाले हैं. Now we have just take the introduction of the tuples. As you know that the Python tuples are a sequence or that are used to store tuples of value is any type. Okay, you have learnt in earlier chapter the Python tuples are immutables. It is a very commonly things those you are just keep in your mind. Immutables, immutability is a data types where you can't change any types of elements. Okay, you cannot change the elements of the tuples in a place. Python will create a fresh tuples when you make changes and elements of a tuple. Tuple is a type of sequence of like strings list and differ from the way list are the mutable, but strings and tuples are immutable. As you previously know, the data types having the lot of types 1 2 3 4 5. Suppose that there is, I'm just talking about that is strings and the tuple and list. So list is a mutable data types. In this you have to able to change their data, but string and tuple you can't change the data about it. So this is strings and tuples is a known is in a category of immutable data types. Right now we are just going to understand about this. Creating and assessing a tuple. As you previously know that a tuple is a standard data type. A tuple is a standard data types of Python. Okay, that can store sequence values belonging any types of sequence. The tuples are depicted through the parenthesis. This is type of the brackets are known as a parenthesis round brackets. Okay, following are the sum tuple. These are the sum tuples like that the tuple with the no member, it is known as a empty tuple. Okay, there is a no members over there. Tuple of integer, there is only integers values are given 1 2 3. Tuples of numbers 1 1 2.5 3.79. This is the tuples of number integers and floating point number. Tuples of characters, you will just save the string type characters a b c d in the tuples. Tuples are the mixed values there a b c d 1 2 3 4 and floating point number. Tuples of string, these are only string type of the data. Okay, so before we providing discuss the tuple creating, one more thing that clear, tuple are the immutable. Tuple are the immutables. Okay, tuples are immutable sequence of the Python, that is cannot change elements of a tuple. This is the definition of tuples. This is the definition of tuples. Kindly note it. Now students, we are just going to talk about this creating tuple things. How can you just create a tuple? Okay, so creating a tuple is a similar list creation, like that you are just creating the list. Similar you have just created the tuple, but here you need to put a number of expressions in parentheses. Okay, that is used to round brackets to indicate start and end. Start and end the tuple and separated items of by commas. For example, 2 4 6 is elements and it comes in the parenthesis like that, this and this also. Thus the create tuples you can't write you can write in the form of given below. आप इसको ऐसे भी राइट कर सकते हैं, बट ये क्या हो जाएगा, ये वेरिएबल हो जाएगा. ठीक है, ऐसे भी क्रिएट हो जाएगा और इस तरह से भी क्रिएट. Now is going to talk about that this construction is known as a tuple display construct. Okay, consider some more examples like that. The empty tuple, the empty tuple is this type. Okay, it is a tuple equivalent of 0. Okay, you 0 or this type of commas. You can also create an empty tuple through that. Okay, t is equal to tuple empty set. Okay, it will be generated empty tuple and name as the tuple t. Okay, single element tuple in, suppose you are using a variable and keeping one element in there, so it is, if you are printed then you got the one, so it is known as a single element tuple. While you are a single element sticky because if you are using a give a single element round brackets. Okay, now there is the things tuple, long tuple is a tuple in which you are just filling a lot of numbers like there. Okay, you will be just use sqrs. What, this is the variable and this is the long tuple method. Okay, if you long tuple contain many elements, then enter such as a long tuple. You can split the across several lines, listen, it is a compulsory if you are just going to assigning the now long number. Okay, nested tuples, also you are also understanding the previous nested list. Okay, nested list, similarly the nested tuples, if a tuple is existing in the body of tuple. Okay, if a tuple contains an element which is टपल्स इट सेल्फ, ठीक है, अगर कुछ एलिमेंट्स हैं वो खुद टपल्स में है और उसकी बॉडी में है, इट इज कॉल्ड द nested tuples. Okay, following nested tuple is an example. Have you seen it? Okay, now creating tuples from the existing sequence, you can also use the built-in type functions like that tuple function. built-in type function मतलब tuple एक function already बना हुआ है, ठीक है, और आप उसमें केवल वैल्यू भरेंगे. इट इज जस्ट क्रिएटिंग द टपल. ओके, आपको करना क्या है, बस आपको एक टपल, ठीक है, फंक्शन का नाम लिखना है और इस फंक्शन में सीक्वेंस भर देना है. एग्जांपल के थ्रू समझते हैं. आइए देखिए, जैसे T1 क्या है, T1 एक वेरिएबल है, बट टपल क्या है, टपल एक फंक्शन है. और टपल फंक्शन में देखिए ओपन पैरेंथेसिस और क्लोज पैरेंथेसिस के अंतर्गत आपने डेटा फिल किया है, हेलो डेटा फिल. और जैसे ये हेलो डेटा फिल किया है, इट शुड बी असाइन, बट ये क्या है एक्चुअली हेलो डेटा तो आपने असाइन कर दिया, बट जैसे ही T1 को प्रिंट करेंगे इट शुड बी जस्ट व्हाट different type. Why? Because listen that ट्रबल फंक्शन जब आप यूज़ करते हैं और एक स्ट्रिंग को यूज़ करते हैं तो स्ट्रिंग ट्रेड करेगी तो उसके जो है कि नंबर्स में क्या हो जाएगा, डिफाइन हो जाएगा, जैसे डिफरेंट टाइप का हो जाएगा. ठीक है, एवरी करेक्टर शुड बी जस्ट इंडिविजुअल. ठीक है, एलिमेंट्स फ्रॉम द इंडिविजुअल इट जनरेट. ओके, when you are just using the tuple string in a tuple function like that, you are just seeing that this is what, tell me, this is a list. Okay, in this list you are just saying that if you want to just convert this list in a tuple, so you use the L variable inside and it's also treated as a tuple. Now this T2 is a tuple but L is a list. Okay, T2 is a tuple and L is a list. Next we are just going to understand, you can use what this is there. You can use this method to create tuples, single character and single digits via keyword input. Okay, like the T1. Okay, and tuple input. Okay, by default input getting the string and string is also converted in the tuple. Okay, so enter the element. Suppose that these things you are just seeing that it is not a string and it is not a number, it is a data of tuples. Okay, when you print it you have to see that every element will be just separate over there. Now see with the example, see with the tuples and around input, even you can not parenthesis, it will create a tuple using individual characters as element, but most commonly used the method input tuples is in this type eval. Okay, showing there like the tuple eval. Okay, input enter the tuples to be added. So now print tuple entered in the tuple. So right now what is happening is that when you execute it will be works, so some work like it. Okay, these things you are just giving that. Okay, in the parenthesis the tuple is entered in these things. अब इसका मतलब क्या हुआ, ये डिफ्रेंशिएट क्यों नहीं हुआ, ये डिफरेंट क्यों नहीं हुआ और ये ऐसे क्यों रह गया, क्योंकि ईवल फंक्शन हमने पीछे पढ़ाया था. ठीक है, इट विल बी प्रोड्यूस्ड एज लाइक योर सेम डेटा, इसमें आप चेंज नहीं होता है, ये जैसा था वैसा हो जाता है. देखो, यू आर इनपुटिंग a tuple with the eval function that make sure include the tuple element in parenthesis. Please note some things not always eval does not work in the Python shell. At the time you can run it through a script too. यहाँ देखिए कुछ फंक्शंस हैं, इसको कर लेंगे. जैसे राइट ए प्रोग्राम टू क्रिएट द 3 टपल्स फ्रॉम द इनपुट गिवन फंक्शन. ओके, एंड Next is what will the types of the T1, T2, T3 it is as per the code given the consider the okay. Kindly do this both the programs in your pyroid and check it is just executed same is like that either differently, okay, and just inform and share with the group, okay. Thank you. This is the today's things.